I recall some of the fellow students that I went to school with who never lived in an area like this, and they were actually called us Hall County kids.
Hall County.
You see, and in doing so, they were trying to put us down because we lived on the other side of the tracks, per se. But you know what our comeback was? You know, we never had a hungry day. You know, we have food, and I never had a day that I was hungry. And of course, there was many days when they did go hungry, but we never had a hungry day. So that was our comeback with them when they just trying to say we was from across the tracks.
You answered mine.
I was I was told I was born here in the American Legion several years ago. I tell everybody I'm 39 and holy. My dad was originally from Georgia, and my mom was from Tennessee, and both migrated this way. My mom's sister was living here at the time, and so she came to Columbus to live here with her sister. And my dad, he had relatives here as well. And when he came, somehow they met, and of course was married. And of course, I'm a product of the marriage. The great memories I have of my dad was when he would get up early in the morning and with his lunchbox, and would have to walk about a mile to the bus line in the snow and the ice, the sleet, whatever the weather might be, to catch a bus. During my early childhood, my mom, she was the spiritual person in the family, and we went to the Lee Avenue United Methodist Church, and somehow, I don't know why, but every time I went to church, I got very interested in the church, and you know, following behind my mom. And back in those days, they had revivals, and I went to the revival with her, and somehow when she would go in at night, she would always take me, and you know, and I don't know why. I would go there, and during the revival, I'd sit up and go to sleep, you know, you see. Anyway, I never forget the time that Reverend Coleman, one Sunday morning, being in a youth group there at the church, it seemed as if he said he saw something in me that somehow stimulated his conscience, that he felt that God had laid something on him to tell me that I was preaching material. And of course, that didn't sound too good to me, because I wasn't thinking about ever standing in front of people, and of course being a pastor. But anyway, he said that, but it kind of went down the drain. I didn't pay much attention to it. But Reverend Coleman said to me that morning in front of the whole church body, he said, "Brother Jordan, would you lead us in prayer this morning?" And he looked back toward me, and I looked behind me, trying to find out. I'm sure got to be another Jordan behind me, Brother Jordan. But he actually was talking to me. And my first experience of doing anything public was that morning. I was shaking in my boots. I was afraid. But that morning, it seemed as the Lord just spoke through me, and I prayed my first public prayer. It was quite an experience, but the Lord, He got me through it. I was a ball player, loved to play ball. I had a gift for playing baseball, softball. I would rather play ball than eat. I went on and played baseball, junior high school. I was all state. I had a chance to playing for the Chicago White Sox, the New York Yankees, the Kansas City Athletics, the Cincinnati Reds. But somehow it didn't materialize. At that time, they didn't have many places for blacks to play. They had one spot open. At that time, it was in Kentucky. And Minnie Minoso had that spot. And I had to wait. But you know, I often think back that if I had went to play professional baseball, maybe, I don't know if I'd have been a minister at this point. You see. Maybe the Lord had something for me to do in a special way. And today I have to think about it in that light, that God had something for me to do. Had I gone that direction, I might not be where I am today. Those are some great experiences I've had in my life. There's something about the people who have lived here and who was born here and have lived here all their lives, and those who have lived here and have moved out and come back. There's something about each one of the families that that's represented, that has been represented in this neighborhood. Anytime there is a death, anytime there's something that has happened in their lives that regardless of where they are, there are people who come back as far as California. When something significant has happened in the life of someone who they know, they will come back here and pay their respects. There's something about just the closeness that we used to have, that we still have. When that disaster happened out here in this community, everyone would come to your rescue. You see, it was like a commonality. It was something that happened. You know, you feel that was it. That's me. That's, you know, they hurt, I hurt. You had a lot of empathy for one another.
I don't even think the culture necessarily has changed. I think people who are moving here, even if they know nothing about it, they just say, oh, here's a house on this street, we can afford it, let's buy it. They get caught up in the tradition and the culture very, very quickly. And I think that no matter what happens in this community going forward, I just don't ever see that going away, because it's so deep rooted. Almost it just seeps up out the soil.
At the Lee Avenue United Methodist Church, I never forget this. There was a time that if there was a death in this area, they were the only church in the area that had a bell. And if someone would die in the area, they would go toll the bell. And you could hear it all over the American edition. And everybody out here knew that somebody had passed. They had this group out here who, here again, had a vision that this place here would have new homes in it one day, and all the necessary things that the city would have. So they went to Sensenbrenner, who was the mayor of the city, and he came out and he made a lot of promises, you see, to annex this, the American edition into the city. And this was done time and time again, you see. And eventually, it was annexed.
I don't come back here much, and but it's even with the new houses that have been built and the evolution of things here, you don't ever get away from the traditions of the neighborhood. And I think it's because there's still so many people who were born and bred that still live here. We came back for a funeral, and we hadn't been here for a very long time, and it just, the more things change, the more they stay the same, you know. So
there is that's so true. You definitely, Kim, I think you hit it on the head. Yet there's the other element is the fact that, you know, those of us who was reared and born out here, and you know, it's one thing that I really believe that that's from the depth of my heart, that we all wanted our children to live in a better circumstance than we did. We want, as far as education is concerned, as far as material things is concerned, we want them to have a better life than we did. We couldn't have the way we were reared. We couldn't have the way, you know, when we was born. Everybody was born somewhere, under some circumstance. And you know, as I think about it, I think about those who wasn't actually reared in the American edition, and just by happenstance they was born over on the other side of the tracks. And unfortunately, I guess it does bother me sometimes when folk who was born on the other side of the tracks think that they are better than those who are born on this side. And my point is that I think we all want our children to experience life better than we have, than the life that we experienced when we grew up. And most of the time that has happened, you see. But you know what? I'm not ashamed at all of my background and, you know, how I was reared. And I just thank God that at this point in life that things have gotten better. And I think that's what we all want, things to get better in life. Even today, I think that's what we think of.